one. All right. I am here with Mazer and Alyssa to talk about the second season of Mushoku Tensei Java's Reincarnation Part 1. We're going to review it. I'm sorry they took so long. I've been busy. As you guys will find out when the Bakugo video comes out. It's looking at one point, let me let you guys know too, it's a little spoiler. It was 4 hours long when I finished. My first edit was 4 hours long.
I don't know how a person can hate Bakugo that much.
No. This is the problem.
He says, "Let me show you the way." Breaks out the PowerPoint.
This is the problem, right? So, mind you, the main crux of like my problems is already pretty simple. The problem is I started writing how I would fix it. So the majority of that first draft is fan fiction. So I said, you know what? Second draft was 2 hours long, and then my third draft now it's about to be an hour long because I wrote out this whole thing, right? But I'm skipping things. I had to go back and watch the anime, go back, read the manga because maybe some things could be different. So what I ended up doing was just taking like little parts. The only time that I really spent on was on the first 2 episodes, changing. The biggest part is the dichotomy between Deku and Bakugo. That's the biggest part of the change for my fan fiction, so to speak. I'm doing quotation marks because y'all can't see. But it's coming out real soon. The editing is what's killing me for real. Editing down is what's killing me. That's what's taking so long. But that's just letting y'all know about that. I also have something else in the offing that I will let you guys know in the future about maybe some future things I'm doing anime wise and non-anime wise. But I have said all the stuff that I need to do. Let's dive in to Mushoku Tensei Season 2 Part 1. Let me get I know it's been a while since, and I know it's been hard trying to get you guys in there, but let me get your guys' impressions on the season. Or at least on the first part.
I liked it a lot. I did not know what to expect because I didn't start it till like way after, and a lot of the stuff I was reading on the internet, everyone was like, "Oh, this season sucks. Rudius is just big sad, blah blah blah." And I mean, he was big sad, but he
was fighting for his life.
Fucking Harris, like, and that's fine. That's real. Like they got into some real topics, which was nice. I mean, I are we doing any no spoilers in this?
No. Go spoilers, full spoilers. It's been a month since the thing ended. Like you can watch it if you want.
If you've missed it at this point, it's on you.
Also, let me just do this. Spoiler warning for Part 1. I'm definitely going to spoil because I gotta defend Rudius from Reddit, from some people on Reddit, from some people I'm going to be working with in the future. I gotta defend Rudius. So spoiler warning.
I mean, are people like I don't understand how people can be dogging him, but the whole ED thing, like it sucks for him. And every woman that he tries to get with also sucks for them. But mental health can do that to you. So
shows you how much damage Ares did to him.
Fucking Ares. There are still I haven't read it. I don't know. Like, I might not hate her later on, but I don't think I will ever want her with him. I mean, honestly, like,
I definitely
Sylvie is my girl.
Sylvie deserves all the love.
Mm-hmm.
Or Silent Fits. I mean, really, it's Silent Fits that I'm in love with, but I'll also take Sylvie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she had exceptional character development over the course of season 2 part 1 here, or core 1. I was really just blown away by the new season. I ended up going back and rewatching both cores of season 1 to really kind of get like the full grasp, because it's been years since I saw season 1, core 2. So I wanted to have like the full depth of everything that was going on, because Rudius was going through it. He was out there in the trenches. My boy was struggling.
I was hurting with him, man, because the tough part is I read because obviously I've read the light novel, I've read
Yep.
the web novel, I even read the manga. I was like, bruh, I've seen you hurt 4 different ways, man. I'm fighting for you. I'm fighting for you right now.
My guy was out here fighting for his life.
Mhm.
And as somebody who's had a taste of the spicy sad myself in my life on more than one occasion, I feel for him. I really do. And that's one of the beautiful things about this show is the relatability of the characters. And I think that that's something that when you're talking about trying to make a show really like a top tier show, whether it's an isekai or a fantasy or a slice of life or really anything, you need to have some way for people to relate to characters. And I think that they did an exceptional job with Rudius and with Sylphie, actually. I think that starting off with episode 0 with her experience after the mass teleportation was a really smart move because they just spent the last 2 cores focused on Rudius for the most part. So it was good to give a little bit of backstory on her before just jumping straight into what was going on. I guess they didn't really jump in right away because he had his time up in the mountains in the snow prior to getting to Renoa Academy. But it was very, very smart, I think, on their part of doing that so that it wasn't such a shock whenever you just stumble into Silent Fits whenever he gets into Renoa.
So, I know, Mazer, you definitely listen to my weekly episodic reviews on Mushoku Tensei. Alyssa, I don't know if you did. But the one thing I told people going into this season was like, you're gonna be frustrated. You really are. You're gonna be frustrated with Sylphie. You're gonna be frustrated with Rudius because, like I said, in my first Mushoku Tensei video, Mushoku Tensei does nothing without there being a plan for it. And we're so used to these isekais, right? Just kind of fixing these things for us, right? And I guess that's kind of the beauty of Mushoku Tensei being, because for those of you who are watching this who don't know, Mushoku Tensei first originated the same time Sword Art Online did in terms of when it was written. Starting when the web novel was written, came out the same time Overlord did, Sword Art Online did. The time I was reincarnated as a slime. All those came out around the same time when they were all web novels. The thing is, though, all those other ones got animes quicker than Mushoku Tensei, and I understand why. Mushoku Tensei is kind of a tough story to adapt because it takes its time. You really, and you're not supposed to like the main character. Rudius is a terrible person when you first meet him. He's a terrible person, and you're literally watching. I know it's an isekai. I know there's power fantasies, all that, but the heart of the story is you're watching a person become better. So obviously the first core, I cannot sing enough praises for the first season of Mushoku Tensei, right? It took its time. You got to really see all the kind of major players who are going to be in the season. And then the thing is, if I'm being 100% honest, the first core, because maybe just because of how much I know about the story, kind of let me down. Like, for instance, the first 4 episodes, which basically covers volume 7. I think that's the most important volume in the story, where Rudius is meeting with another tragic figure, Sarah, who a lot of people, especially once the anime came out, really feel for her because she just came at the worst time, right? And I thought it should have gotten the Mugen Train treatment. If Volume 7 got that, and I understand it's a risk, but so was the Mugen Train movie for Demon Slayer, and it came out great. I think if they gave those 4 episodes like an actual movie, it would have hit a lot better because this is one where I'm like, you just won't get it unless you read the actual source material of how important this arc is for Ruby in terms of how low he gets. I mean, hell, you saw at the end of episode 4, he almost kills himself after what happens with Sarah, which we're going to talk about a little bit later. He almost kills himself, and if it wasn't for Soul Dot, that's the end of the story. That's the end of the story. So in the end, it was very good. There was really one episode 9, which I thought because that was like a lore dump episode, but you meet a girl who was very important at the end of season 1. You learn kind of the backstory. You learn about how this ties into Rudius' past life when he used to live on Earth. Like that was like, this is Mushoku Tensei right here. So I am anticipating the second core really carrying this season because it's gonna be, let me tell y'all right now, some crazy stuff's about to happen. That's all I'm gonna say. Some crazy stuff's about to happen. But you to kind of shorten this so I don't ramble. The Roanoa, the Magic University arc is important because of Sylphie, right? She's the one out of the three who didn't get that much love, especially at the end of the first season. It's starting off, we get to see her, and we see if it was, mind you, there's three kind of girls in Rudius's life, right? There's Roxy, there's Eris, and there's Sylphie. And Sylphie came at the right time and was the right person. As much as I love Roxy, and I think she's my number one of the three, Roxy wouldn't have helped Rudius the way Sylphie did, right? And Eris, even though you never saw, you didn't even see anybody with red hair, her presence was there the whole season because of what she did to him. So it was good. It wasn't, at least maybe because I'm a super fan, I expected a little bit more, but it was still very good. And also, you have to watch and you have to understand this is not, you're not, the problems that you usually see, they're not solved. They're not going to be solved automatically off screen. You're going to go through it with Rudius every single episode. And that's why Mushoku Tensei is special. And it took the same thing as season one did, the first core. Wait, I get it started off kind of fast, but then it took its time again. You could learn about how Sophie has changed, how Rudius has changed. You be Elenalized and how she kind of fits in the story. Cliff is back. Xanobur is back. They even approach slavery different than other isekais. Like, it's all these things that come together that I'm telling you, like, if you open your mind and you actually watch it, you'll get it. That's all I'm going to say. But let's go ahead. Let's talk about who was maybe your favorite character. We already know Alyssa's, but who was your favorite character in the show? Or at least in the first part, season one.
In season one?
Oh, not season one. Part one. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. Like you said, we already know it's Silent Fits. I did, God, what is the guy's name?
Soldat, the guy
The
who's an
one
asshole
that
to
the one
Rudy in
that
the
wanted to
beginning.
fight him at first.
Yeah, the guy. Yeah, Soldat.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I did enjoy him. Um, I mean, because he was real. He was also relatable, but probably didn't like him as much as Silent Fits. But I did enjoy his character a lot, and I thought that he was really helpful to Rudius's progression.
All right, Mazer.
I'm gonna be honest. For the new, so the first core hero of season two,
Mhm.
I'm gonna pick Rudius, and he would not have been who I picked for season one.
Mhm.
But I think that and like you said, he's somebody that isn't really a good person at the beginning of the show, but this show is about character growth and learning and overcoming what you've been in the past to become something different, something better. And that is really the story of kind of Rudius's life up to this point. And you meet him when he's at a very low point, and kind of the same way in season one with Sylphie, she just showed up at kind of the right time and helped him overcome that trial that he was experiencing in his life. The season one being with him being a shut in, and season two with the ED situation. I love that Rudius he has a humble mentality about himself because he's a monster. Like, let's face it, like he's up there. But I mean, he did die. So there's that'll humble somebody pretty quick, I think. But for me, yeah, Rudius, his character development and his growth throughout this season, with it only being 12 episodes, like it was truly astounding what they were able to pull off in that short amount of time. And I'm sure with the light novel and the web series, it's even greater. But my hat's off definitely to the studio for producing what they did. As somebody who's an anime only for this particular show, really well done.
My MVP. Next door, I'm gonna turn my camera on for this one because y'all need to see my face. Yeah, this is exactly how.
Okay.
Yeah, I got a bonnet on, but my MVP is Sarah.
Okay.
So, Sarah is a tragic figure, right?
Mhm.
She just came at the worst time right after Eris, and she's your classic tsundere. And y'all, Mazer, you know how I feel about tsunderes. You know how I feel about them. And like a lot of people, I hated Sarah at first when I first read it in the light novel. Hated her because she's only a light novel introduction. She's not in the web novel. So I hated her, but you get why she's that way. And then once you learn her backstory, if you guys would be interested, I can kind of go into it a little bit. If you guys,
Yeah.
so basically, so Sarah, if I remember correct, she's from the same. I believe she's also from the Asura Kingdom, but her family ends up getting killed. Like she loses her mom, she loses her mother and father, and is only she lost her mother and father to some monsters because the noble of the land didn't like send out forces to deal with them. So she doesn't like nobles for that reason. She already thinks of nobles as pompous, haughty. They only really don't. They only kind of do it because it's like a thrill. It's not something to take seriously. So when she hears, obviously, Rudius Grey Rat, she knows who the Grey Rats are. She thinks of him the same way, right? Especially because when she first meets him, this dude is the lowest he could ever be. He's really only living to try to find his mom. That's the only thing that's keeping him moving forward. And thank God. I'm gonna say this. Another MVP is the part, not the party leader, but the black lady with corners. I can't remember her name right now. She's also another MVP. And Mazer, you heard me in the episode reviews. She barely talked, but every time she was there, every time she spoke, it was like impactful. And I'm mad I can't remember her name right now. But she was the one who kind of like helped Sarah understand where Rudius is coming from, especially since she didn't really know what happened in the beginning, but she's like, hey, he might have lost family because of the Fatoa region, the teleportation incident, or lost family or lost party members. So she kind of got him, right? And she's also a big part of saving him. So Sarah, there's another universe where like she's just with Rudius and they're happy, right? And if Eris never existed, or if Eris just learned how to write a sentence, he would have like they would have been fine, and she would have just been maybe she would have been part of whatever Reus's life is going to be in the future. I'm not trying to spoil past the first
Yeah.
part, but she just was in the wrong place. She reacted normally, especially once we hear about the ED, because most women would react the way Sarah reacted, right? And it's unfair. That's all it is for Sarah. It's unfair. And then of course, Soldat comes out and bros up and becomes an MVP. And then she hears Rudy is kind of drunk and what he talks about. And then Sarah,
Oh gosh.
right? It's so tragic.
I felt
But
I felt so bad for both of them.
yes. And then that's where Mazer, after episode 4, I said, you need one more episode. You need one
Yeah.
more episode because something happens in the story. Basically, what happens is that Sarah, my God, what is up with my camera? This is exactly why I don't, whatever, who cares? I'm going to throw something over there. But Sarah goes to go meet the prostitute that Rudius tries to get with, right? And the prostitute gets him. So one thing, like I said, Mushoku Tensei does nothing without consequence. So even after Rudy tries to cure his ED, like with Soldat's help, he's just in a place where he's around people who get it, who just let him talk, right? And people who understand what he's going through. So when Sarah goes to go talk to the prostitute, she kind of understands the situation. But by the time she tries to go talk to Rudy, he's gone. He's gone with Soldat. He joins his party and he's gone. So there's always just like, no, Sarah, like how Alyssa was like, how you? It's just one of those like it hit like I was like, no, and I'm like, and that's why I was like, you need at least give me the beginning part before the opening. You just got to do that. You got to do that because now people are wondering what happened to Sarah, and I'm like, please. Please do that. That's why I reacted to the video by Annie News. That's why I said it in the episode review. I was like, this is exactly what happens because this is important. But they didn't do it. That's why I'm like, if season 1 wouldn't miss that moment, but season 2 did. But also season 2 had a new director, right? That a new director come in, and that person's changes were clearly evident in the show, and maybe they weren't as familiar with the story, or they just didn't think that was important, which is a shame. So which puts a lot of effort on eventually when they do reunite, what it puts a lot of effort into that moment. Like when they do, but mind you, that's a season 3, maybe even a season 4 like problem. It's not a now problem. There you go. That's my MVP. Can you another what are some standout moments for you guys? Maybe some certain scenes or certain moments that stand out to you guys. And then I also want your least favorite character of the season. Who wants to go first?
Whenever he met the mask girl in the tower, that one kind of, I mean, the way that he reacted was just
Mazer.
like,
Oh,
God,
oh.
he was so terrified, and I mean, it was really well done, and also just like while I'm on the subject of her, like I don't fucking trust her. I don't think, but we'll. I guess I'll
I'm
find
not gonna
out.
say anything. I'm not gonna say anything.
Well, we just found out her least favorite character.
Um. Okay, well, can I make Eris my least favorite character, even though she wasn't in it?
Eris
um,
sucks. Eris sucks right now. I'll fucking say it. Eris
Yo,
I'm
sucks.
tr-
we're
Eris
I
sucks.
we're
guess,
all of like mind here.
I
Er-
guess, yeah, the mask girl would be my actual least favorite character. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't say that I hate her, like not in the way that I hate Eris. I just don't trust her.
Hmm.
Um, and I don't.
Which is crazy because Rudia saves her life, and that's how he gets isekai.
I know, and
Yep. How
I
everything comes full circle is
Mhm.
phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
I do, and I don't know. I don't even remember. I don't think that um he didn't bring that up, right?
No, 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 no.
No.
Because I know he recognized her, but
Mm-hmm.
he didn't bring it up. Yeah, sucks for. I say sucks for him, but I think that he likes the isekai world better than
Oh, for
his
sure.
first world, so I guess it doesn't actually suck for him.
It was an
Absolutely.
interesting dichotomy to see that because you only kind of see one side or the other in isekais, but then you kind of get both where one person's trying to go back and one person's trying to stay. And I really like that. Mind you, I'm not Mazer, sorry to kind of
Oh,
skip you, but I'm gonna say mine, because I would have chosen that episode 9 moment when he meets her, when he sees who she is for the first time, with the mask. And God, it's so well done. That voice actor, oh, you know what? Give him a
I'm
raise.
glad
Just
it's
give him a
not just
raise.
me.
Give him a raise because that voice actor hit every note. Like I was terrified. I was
yeah.
terrified. I was breathing hard. Like that PTSD to know like this person. And then the thing that always kind of gets me, especially with that scene, is Sylphie. Because you just kind of see her in the background and how like she's never seen Rudy like this before. She's only ever seen Rudy as this confident, like he always takes charge. He taught her everything that she knows. And to see him this terrified and how like powerless she felt, because like, what can I do? What can I do here? But
They weren't even speaking her language half the time. She looked like so
mhm,
she was
She was a
lost.
little lost in the sauce there for a
mhm,
good bit.
yeah. But I guess my favorite kind of, it's not really a scene because you don't get to see it, but I guess you can say the result after that is Cliff and Elenize. Um,
Ah, yeah.
I liked even in reading it, it was weird at the time, but when you kind of see how Elenize moves, because she's basically the fan service for the anime, right? But she's the fan service for the anime because she's cursed. She was cursed when she was younger, and she has to have sex or else she will die, right? But she's very smart in how she does it. She doesn't go around just screwing people, right? Even though the anime definitely portrays her that way. Like she does it as part of quest. Like when she does it with Soldat and she pays him as part of a quest, so it's a job. And it's like and then she does it like you can't fall in love with me. And for the first time maybe in her life, because I know her backstory and I want to save that until it comes up in in the second part. She meets somebody like Cliff who really is in love with her and she takes it seriously, right? In a way that the way she's been portrayed in the show, because everybody's going to think of Lynn Lights and think about that moment in season 1 when Roxy walks into the room and there's a whole orgy going on in there basically, and she's gonna people, but she's so much more than that. And the fact that she fully commits to Cliff, right, despite the fact that and Cliff is he's very religious, he's very celibate, right? So it's tough for her to do it, but she fully commits to Cliff. And also Cliff's like, I'm gonna solve your curse, I'm gonna solve this shit. So it's just one of those. It's one of those like hopefully they touch on it a little bit more in the second part, but it's the best ship in my opinion in the whole series because of how much they care for each other, and I like seeing it. I'm just mad that we didn't kind of get to see Cliff's confession when Rudius leaves because they close the door and then the next day Rudius pops up and they're together, right?
We didn't
But
get our lesson in Risonomics.
Cliff got a little bit that we just didn't know about, but that's my favorite moment. My least favorite character. God, it's so easy to say Eris because God, she's
Yep.
like even now that I know how the story ends, I just can never. I'm always like Eris, just stay over there. just stand over there. Like I'm literally
She could
pointing
have
towards my
done
father.
anything else. And honestly, like, if she was gonna do that, like, it was super selfish of her to have sex with him.
Absolutely.
Like he would have been better off. Like, yeah, she wanted to do that, but that was about her. If she was even thinking about him in the slightest bit, she wouldn't have done that.
So the
Because
reason why she
obviously
did
that's
it,
gonna ruin it
yeah.
for him.
So what the author says and what's that? So Eris is not like the best talker or the best conversationalist, right? But she knows how to read and write. She can write a fucking sentence. She only was tutored by Rudius for like 5 years before the teleportation thing. It's not like they stopped. He still kind of taught her things, right? Even when they were coming back from the demon continent. But the reason why she did it that way was she left a note in the first place was because she knew that Rudius would talk her out of it. She knew that Rudius would say the words to talk her out of it. But I was like, just let Rudius follow you. You go to the land of swords, right? And that's where she went, by the way, because that's where Ghislaine trained. That's where Eris is at right now. She's training for the day she comes back to fight Orson again because she's trying to get strong. Um, and that's not a spoiler. They say that at the end of season 1, where she's going. But Rudius would have followed her, and also Rudius, I still think Rudius could still find a way to end up at the academy. But the problem is I'm curious to see how the author would have handled that because Sylphie's at the academy. So how would they have handled that if Eris is still in the picture? So, but that's just one of those things. But I guess my least favorite person of the season, if I really had to pick one, it's probably no, it's Luke. Luke's an asshole. Luke's a complete asshole. And Luke's a playboy because he's like definitely what a great rap man is. He's just in the streets. He's in the streets all the time. But he's an asshole. Even though he becomes a better person, he's an asshole. And I just don't like Luke. And then I guess you can take the 2 Beast girls also. They're also my least favorite.
What?
Yeah, I didn't like them. I still don't like them. But that's just me.
Nice.
I like them. I thought they were funny.
For me, my favorite scene is actually one of the first scenes that we get to see in the show. So they're in episode 0 when Eris is falling from when Sylphie's falling from the sky. So that's a real Marie Antoinette syndrome is when your stress and emotions are elevated so high that it actually kills the pigmentation in your hair and it causes your hair to turn white. Most often people see it when they get scared real bad and they end up with like a white streak or something. But I loved that they had that because it explained the hair changing. And, if Rudy would have just went in there one day and they didn't show that, and now she has white hair, like it would have been confusing. But they showed it, and they showed it in a way that's understandable and relatable because it's a real phenomenon. So just my 2 cents, I was a huge fan of that because it helped pull everything together into a very cohesive and easy to understand picture. As far as least favorite characters, and I'm going to keep it to people that were actually in this first core of season 2, because I really want to say Eris too. Eris ain't shit.
Eris ain't shit, bro. And like Alyssa said, it's so selfish that she did that. Oh. And I understand that she was 15 or 14, however old she was at the time.
Sylphie's been a day one ride or die, and Eris, she's for the streets. She ain't it. But my least favorite character is actually one that got very, very little screen time, and it's just because I don't like the vibe that he puts off. He gives me bad juju energy, and that's the man god.
Oh yeah,
the man god.
Oh yeah, he's definitely sketchy.
He's sketchy as hell. Like
He's sketchy as the mask girl.
he's a
They're probably up to something
uh,
together.
he's a Craigslist salesman. All right, he's just trying to get that shit out of his house. He'll tell you anything to get you to buy it.
It's
At least Rudius knows though that like he's always got an ulterior motive and is
Oh
always
yeah.
keeping something from him. Like if Rudius trusted him, then he'd be in deep shit.
Oh,
Mhm.
for
But
sure.
he knows.
So there are a lot of really good moments from the season that obviously we didn't pick but could be mentioned. We got to look at how politics works in the
Hmm.
in Mushoku Tensei, and how Ariel is a character, fascinating character for me. She didn't really get a lot of screen time, but she was also obviously hugely important to how Sylphie and Rudius eventually like reunite officially.
Hmm.
um you kind of got to see how smart and capable she actually is. She just doesn't have the means, right? Because the Soren kingdom is in a nobility dispute, right? Even though the king's still there, but he's old, and Ariel's been trying to kind of worm her way through, right? And let's not get honest. Let's talk about when Sylphie lands. Ariel completely manipulates Sylphie. That's what she does in the beginning. She completely manipulates Sophie and just using her. And then eventually they become friends. But in the beginning, they're
Well, you're
completely.
talking about over 10 years that they don't show because when
Mhm,
Sylphie falls, that's when the teleportation happens.
mhm,
So from episode 0 to basically episode 1, you're looking
mhm,
at a 10-year-ish time gap, time jump. So
mhm,
there's a lot of time for their relationship to change and bud mutually, both directions,
mhm,
for Ariel to be able to gain a different understanding and respect for who Sylphie is as a person, and for Sylphie to also understand kind of the position that Ariel's in, and be willing to assist her to whatever extent possible in order to kind of just see her successful in life.
mhm. So, and even the thing that I really liked from that is that I think near the end of the episode, Ariel just comes out and admits it. She's like, "Hey, I'm sorry for taking advantage of you, but I need you in this thing." And then obviously the fact that they after they kind of lose, they know that they're going to lose and they're in danger. They just dip and they go under pretense to go to the Magic University. And you see how capable she is. Like Ariel immediately shows up at the university. She becomes popular. She becomes a class president, and this whole time she's building connections, right? And as we saw at the end of the season, she maybe built the ultimate connection in Rudy,
Yep.
right? And Rudy's one of the most powerful people on the planet, right? More powerful
Oh,
people on the planet.
easily. I mean, he
Um,
he one shot the Demon King.
mhm. And oh, by the way,
Man, I forgot about the Demon King.
Beta Gotti. The
Yeah,
one
Beta
thing,
got it.
yeah, I know I'm gonna keep referring to this like Mazer when Beta Gotti was introduced and they had that duel and the fight, and I was like,
Yep.
I hope you guys were paying attention to that conversation they were having.
Oh, they
And
were saying a lot, but without saying a lot.
yeah, I was like, they're having a very important conversation right now, and you guys, and I'm like, I want to spoil it. I was like, I want to spoil, I want to spoil, I
Uh,
want to spoil, but I
they, they
can't.
they were talking in code, but they were speaking each other's language. They knew what each other were saying.
Hmm. And then let's see. Another one was Sylphie when Silent eventually admits that she thinks that she was the cause of the teleportation incident, and Sophie loses it. And
Oh,
you
that was
saw the
beautiful.
yeah, you saw how she prepped by putting those rings on, which were barriers.
Yep.
And I'm like, that shows like obviously we don't get to see it, but like how many times has she gone through that? That she got these equipment, whether it was the dragon god Orsted, who we saw that she was traveling at the end of season 1, whether he gave it to her or she decided to go just get these to protect herself, because you just don't do that on a whim, right? You
Yep.
clearly see, even though you don't see, you see how much she's prepared for this. And then eventually see that and how Sylphie loses it. Obviously, the conversation that Rudy and Silent have, and they're speaking in Japanese, and you just see Sylphie like just getting smaller and smaller because she's so left out. And she's like, there's this special, and now she's obviously worried, like, what if Sylphie and what if Silent and Rudy get together, right? And that's a thing that in the in the light novel, where at some point after Ariel orders her to kind of, hey, start figuring this thing out with Rudy, Sophie hesitates, obviously. And then she has this dream about Rudy getting with Silent, and that's kind of like the catalyst for to get her to set up the plan to get to finally reveal who she truly is to Rudy. So there's these great moments. There's also a character that you barely got to meet a little bit. I don't know
Yeah,
if you guys
blue-haired
remember
lady.
the blue haired lady, and I'm like,
Yeah.
this lady's also very important. And I'm like, what? And I was like, they showed her, and I
They
was like,
just skipped her. It was a teaser.
and I was like, I even said it in the episode review. I was like, oh, they're just gonna talk about her. They're gonna show her like a little bit of who she is in the next episode before the opening, and they didn't. And I was like, oh, okay.
Yep.
But she's also very important, and she is like the main kind of thread that we have to Eris. But I don't want to spoil who she is until they show it.
Yeah.
So
Let's not forget about how beautifully they wrapped this package up with Sylphie's reveal of who she is and how
Oh.
she went about doing it and
Mhm.
how things again just full circle. Uh, I thought it was exceptional, and I
Mhm.
loved Rudius's hesitation that he did not have when he was a child because again, the character growth, the development, extraordinary, absolutely extraordinary. I was blown away because it could have very easily gotten cringy. It could
Mhm.
have very easily turned into something that's a little too etchy, but it didn't. It didn't. They towed the line, and it was just a beautiful, beautiful thing. 10 out of 10.
Yeah, and then we also got to see kind of just, even though Rudy is getting better, like for instance, when he's walking, he just started school. It's like a month into school, and then he catches those panties that fall out of the girls' dorm, and then he gets like he basically gets
Yep.
accused by all those girls, and then you see the PTSD come back, and it's not the PTSD from him get dying, it's the PTSD from his past life and the school thing, like
Yep.
so a lot of things like he actually has in his second life, he actually has a positive school life. He didn't get that in his first life. Like, and these things that are always constantly there as you watch this guy become a better person. So there you are, Alyssa. Thought we lost you for a second.
Sorry, I didn't. Well, I was adjusting my camera and my light, and I messed something up somehow.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be like that.
It'd be like that. So there were these kind of special moments like that. Another moment that I really liked. I guess you can kind of you when you kind of see how formidable Rudy is, right? When he
Mhm.
goes off with Soldat and he solos that dragon by himself, basically, which is crazy because he definitely could have acted before those two guys in Soldat's party got killed. But hey, you do what you got to do. And then he solos him, and I just love that moment. That moment went viral. You know when the steam comes up and then Rudius's face blows in, and I'm
Yep.
like, oh, this is the move right here.
Now,
And
I gotta be real. When that
Mhm,
happened, I had a flashback to the season prior. We had that show, The Strongest Exorcist Reincarnated,
mhm,
and he kills a dragon, and he ends up with a house,
mhm.
and they tell him, they're like, wealthy people, they decorate their houses with their trophies of like their kills, and this dude puts a whole ass dragon in his fucking main lobby. So when people walk through the front door, they see it, and everybody has a heart attack when they walk through the door. And he's just
Mhm,
like, "Oh, I did that," and they're like, "Wait, what?" It
mhm.
was so when he killed that dragon, I couldn't help but flash back to that, and I'd be like, "Oh, that would be a real gangster move for Rudy." Him and Sylphie get their new spot, and he just mounts a dragon in the living room, and he's just like, "Go ahead, come on in," because that's a power move.
That is an absolute power move. So, and yeah, I'm just gonna always say this. I wish the first 4 episodes of part one got a movie. If they made it a movie, it would sell. I'm telling you guys, it would sell. And that's just the biggest part. And if they did that, that'd give guess the rest of part one more time to breathe, maybe a little bit more character moments. We got to get to see, Cliff's confession to Elenize. We see more of Ariel's kind of dealing because she's not just trying to talk to Rudy to get him over to her side. She's also dealing with other people, and you got to see that in the book. So it's just some things that just it happens in every anime adaptation. Some things get left out. So yeah, anyway, do you have some moments that kind of stick out to you, Alyssa? I know you were out for a little bit, but any moments like that?
Um, you already talked about the one where he was accused of stealing the girls' panties, and I actually thought that was hilarious. I I loved that. I
And
loved
the
that part.
Sophie's like, nah, you're not about to do my boy like that. She was prepared to scrap with that gorilla girl. She was prepared. And I was like,
She
okay, let's see more of how Sophie is right now. I'm prepared.
that gorilla girl was.
She sucks too.
she,
Yeah.
I think I said something on Mazer's show.
Mhm.
What goodness? Oh, we were talking about Eris, and someone was defending Eris, and I was like, "Listen, I take the gorilla lady over Eris." like,
Yeah, that's old Grim Zinta that'll fight for Eris till the day he dies, and I'm just like, bruh, nah, like that ain't it.
I understand why people like. I understand
You
why
got to
people
be the
like her.
devil's
Right?
advocate sometimes, and
Yeah.
I get it, but nah, like that ain't it. And I love the character growth from Sylphie in that moment because she used to
Mhm.
be so hesitant back when she was getting mud thrown at her and stuff like that. This was somebody who also experienced bullying, but has grown past that and surpassed that kind of mindset to where she was in front of people and she said, "Hey, we can do this right now. All right, these hands are rated E for everybody."
Oh yeah.
And everyone there was like, "Nope, nope, we don't want no part of this." And then Rudy goes with Banagati
Mhm.
and does his thing, and you see the gorilla lady again later, and she sees him in the hallway, and she's like, "Nope,
I don't
nope.
want any smoke. Any smoke. Oh,
I
one last.
apologize for what
I
I
Mhm.
said
instantly
before."
regret my actions.
I apologize. I wasn't familiar with your game. So one last
I,
one that sticks
I
out to
oh
me. Oh,
Yep.
so sorry. One last one is counter arrow. When we first see how strong Rudy is, so they're supposed to like kill these they're kind of like polar bears, but they're bigger, right?
Yep.
And it turns out that there's way more polar bears than they thought, and you get this panning shot around Rudy as counter arrow is fighting for their lives, basically, right? And I love to see another thing I also liked was we got to see how adventuring works in the world, right? And how
Hmm.
counter arrow works. And Suzanne, that's her name, the lady, the black lady with the cornrows.
Yep.
She also comes back later in the story, and she comes back in a very nice way. That's all I'm gonna say. She's one of the most important characters, and she barely gets any screen time, but all the screen time she gets, important. I will not
Okay.
listen to anybody say otherwise. But you kind of see how counter arrow works, and they're fighting for their lives. And Rudy's like, you know what, man, I might just give up. And then eventually he's like, nah. And then he does that massive fireball. And I'm like, okay, Rudy. And then they're like, oh my God, who the hell is this? Get him in the party all the time, please. And it's just one of those things where, like, and then even before the fight, you saw the leader of the party, the mage, and
Yep.
he's trying to talk to him, right? Because they see how depressed he is. And then he kind of fails, and then Rudy walks away, and you see him like grab his hands in like a regretful motion. It's like these little character things are so good. But sorry to cut you off, Lisa. Go ahead.
oh no, and actually good transition because I was also going to talk about counter arrow. It I did think of a time whenever Rudy went out with counter arrow, and I can't even remember which one it was, but when he thought they had all left him,
Mhm.
and then he was prepared to either die or take him on himself, and then everyone starts fighting behind him, and like the look of like just relief and like disbelief that there are people that stuck around for him.
Mhm.
um you could tell how traumatized he was by Eris, but you could tell that like at that moment he was starting to um overcome his trauma a little bit and was seeing that there are people there for him.
Mhm.
And I thought that was a really good scene just because I'm a little crybaby and it made me cry a little bit.
Oh,
But
That
I
smile that
I
he
think
gives, that when he thinks they're gone, and he's like, it's like that.
like I
It's like
knew
he
it.
gets it. He gets it. It's like he gets it, but he's like, damn, bro. And he just has that smile, and then immediately, like Sarah's arrow flies through the air and hits somebody in the eye, and I'm like, yeah, yeah. Like Rudy's not going out like this. I was like, oh, oh my god.
I mean, it would have been detrimental to him had they actually left. I mean, yes, he probably would have lived, but to have been abandoned again,
Mhm.
like that would have broke him. And who knows, where he would be at right now. I think that I mean, obviously Sophie is the one who cured him, but I think that without Counter Arrow, he probably, I mean, I don't even think he would have gone to the school. So,
Mhm.
because he would have still been
It's kind of moving around. Just kind of.
mopey,
Mhm.
not wanting to do anything, not talking to anyone. So,
Like the
with
people that wrote this show, they're playing chess, not checkers. Okay,
Mhm.
they out here making strategic moves, and it's
Absolutely. So I guess let's look to the future. So the second part of the second season is supposed to come out April of next year. I'm
oh
just
fuck.
gonna. What are you guys kind of looking for? I think they're taking their time. They're still kind of figuring out because another thing that was kind of bad that I mentioned constantly was the animation quality. You
Mhm.
know, kind of it's like it just wasn't consistent, especially when you get those really beautiful landscape shots, but then you could like it's like, and I said like it's like those 90s cartoons where like, oh, this rock is drawn different because Wile E. Coyote's obviously going to pick up this rock and chuck it at the Roadrunner, right? And there was a
Yep.
lot of those things, which I'm like, you guys had the formula in season 1. What happened? You know? So it's just one of some of those things. But I guess looking to the future, what are you guys kind of looking forward to? I will attempt not to spoil to the best of my ability some things that I definitely know will happen in the second part. But what are you guys kind of looking forward to?
I just I am ready to see what the problem between the dragon god and the man god is because obviously it's a big one.
I'm cheesing real hard right now.
So
Cheesing real hard.
is it good? It's good. Don't
Oh
tell
my
me, but
god.
it's good.
It's
I'm looking
fantastic.
forward to that, and I just want to see I the fucking mask girl. I don't like her, but I want to see what's going on with her because she is up to something.
Hmm.
Mhm.
So um, I'm just I wouldn't even necessarily say looking forward to. I'm just so curious about those things right now. And honestly, the Dragon God is kind of a badass. So I want to see him and Rudy in like an all out fight whenever Rudy has grown. And I hope that something like that happens. I should just stop talking because Luther's going to end up spoiling something for me.
I will probably say this in terms of the second thing you said, you might have to wait a little bit longer. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay.
Well, I don't actually remember which one was the second thing. So,
The fight between Rudy
Orsted and
and Orsted,
Rudy.
you might have to wait a
oh,
little bit longer. That's all I'm gonna say.
Nice.
well, yeah. I mean, I don't at where
Rudy got to
Rudy's
get his
at
get back.
now
Rudy got to get
would
his get back.
die.
Yep.
So,
Mhm.
I'm on my end. I hope that there is because I'm a romantic. I want to see a Sylvie Rudy wedding.
oh God, I forgot about
Mm.
I
the proposal.
I
Mhm.
want to see that. I want to see. So I'll preface with this:
Mhm.
some things have already been spoiled, not the whole story. But
Mhm.
I work with some other big fans of Mushoku Tensei. So one very big thing got spoiled for me, and not how it goes about happening.
Mhm.
So one of the, I guess you could say, one of the love interests that he's had in his life,
Mhm.
and him reuniting, but now with
Mm.
him as an adult. Or
Mm.
not even an adult, but he's not a little 4, 5, 6-year-old child
I know. Yeah, I
anymore.
know exactly what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
my man's been working out. Okay, he's been jogging, uh,
He got
doing
names for
doing
his muscles now, man. He
do,
different.
doing push-ups. His hair's growing out a little bit. He's got this like future trunks coming out of the hyperbolic time chamber kind of situation going on.
Yeah, long hair Rudy's my
Um,
favorite. Long hair
yeah.
Rudy's my favorite. I'm gonna say that right now.
So I want to see that reunion.
Mhm.
Because like I said, he ain't that little kid no more. And I'm really, really looking forward to that.
Mm. So I guess one thing I'm very curious to see in part two is we got a lot of new characters, right? In
Mhm.
part one. I'm curious to see how the old characters are doing. How much are they really going to show of what Eris is doing, right? What's going on? Because we know that Paul knows where Zenith is, right?
Mhm.
Paul Zenith. So, what's the situation over there? I want to see how it looks, how they shape it. We know that Roxy is with him, right? And then eventually, how how is Rudy how are they going to reach out, because they send letters, and
Mhm.
these letters take a minute to get there. This isn't like, it's like the Pony Express in the 1800s. That's how they get them. So by the time Rudy learns of what's going on, um when
It's
he got
long
that,
after it's already
it's
happened.
long after everything's happened. So how are they going to show? I want to see what's going on with the other characters, how they show it. Obviously the what's going on with Roxy and other potential love interests as well. um how's Rudius's marriage, like you, how's Rudius's married life going, right? I
Yep.
want to, another dumb thing, I want to see um Julie, the slave that they bought for
Yep.
Zanover, right? And who's doing the sculpting. I want to see how she is. I like her in the story. She's not really a big character in terms of importance, but I've always enjoyed her character. I
Mhm.
want to see how she grows, because she's being trained by legitimately maybe the greatest mage in that world's history. And she's already doing voiceless incantations,
Yeah,
which
she's
is
one of 3 people
mhm,
that can do it.
one of 3 people in the whole thing. And to give you some, I'll say this also: Roxy can't do it, but Roxy picks up some tricks. That's all I'm gonna say
Okay.
about voiceless incantation from Rudy. So Roxy, through even that small amount of time she spent with Rudy when he was a child, she definitely ups her game.
Okay.
So there's so much potentially that could be done. The only thing is, I believe season part 2 is only 10 episodes for some reason. Let me
They really just be out here messing with us.
I think it's like 10 or 11. Oh, no, it's 13. It's going to be 13 episodes. My bad. It's 25.
Oh,
At
give me
one
that
point,
extra.
yeah, give it
Hey.
extra. At some point, it was supposed to be like 30. And I was like, give me more.
Yep.
Give me more. But
Yo, give it that One Piece treatment. Just keep it going.
my only thing is I'm worried about where they would stop, right? Because there's so much that's going to happen, like, dominoes keep falling,
Mhm.
that I'm worried that where they're going to stop. And I think I know where they're going to stop in terms of a big character moment for Rudy. But the problem is what happens right after that is also important. So I don't know if you can stop it at that moment, because I know I'm not trying to spoil it. So in terms of this is crazy, because Alyssa, I don't know how we can rank Mushoku Tensei in terms of the end of the year anime year in review videos we're gonna have to do. I don't know how we can rank it because it's only one part. So
I feel like it's still up
I
there
mean,
though.
you can still, I mean, the impact that the one part had on you, you
mhm.
know.
I think it's just
I
tough because every anime that I've done for those videos is finished by the end of the year, right?
Yeah.
But this anime clearly is not. At least the season isn't finished. So
I loved this. I'm not gonna lie though, it will probably not end up being my favorite out of some of them. I mean, the Kingdoms of Ruin is so
oh, by
good.
no,
Oh
no,
my god.
Mushoku Tensei part of the video is done. It's time to start talking about Kingdoms of Ruin. The story is so juicy to me, and I haven't had a good revenge story in a while, and I'm like, I love this.
I am so, and
Love
like
it.
he does not like hold back, and I just want to see him fuck some people up.
Mm,
Yep.
mhm. I
There's
obviously.
a few good animes that are out there
Mhm,
right now. Ragna Crimson is actually
mhm,
better than I anticipated it was going to be, and
mhm.
yeah, you already know what it is
It's
about
really good.
Eminence and Shadow.
Oh
Eminence and
God,
Shadow.
you want to evidence it? So the first few episodes, I'm like,
Yo,
this is already fantastic. But
have you
you
been
guys, how did
catching?
you guys find a way to up your game? How
ha-
did you up your game from this? This
Did
was great.
you have you been catching the end credit scenes?
No, I need to go
Yeah.
back and watch, because the
No,
thing that I use, it skips it. I
that's
don't like
that
that.
that's a thing.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh.
Because at the end of this most recent episode, it seems like the arc's over.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, it ain't.
No, it's not. Even now with where Mushoku, not Mushoku, the Eminence and Shadow is going, I have so many questions in terms of how even the story could possibly end. And there's some character things going on within the Seven Shadows that are crazy.
Yep.
And the
I just
manga.
want to
Oh, go ahead.
I just want to know if he ever figures out that it's not all fake.
All right, I'm gonna spoil this part. At this point in the story, he still doesn't know.
Yeah. Oh
He's
no. Right
he's
now he
just
has no idea.
he's like willfully ignorant. He's
what
like
an
willfully
idiot.
ignorant.
But no, I want to see Claire and Aurora and what all happens there, because there's some stuff in the works there.
I don't understand why the Seven Shadows just don't bring Claire in and just tell him like, hey, this is what's going on.
Yo, I want to know how the princess, is it Rose?
Alexis?
No, the blonde.
Rose, yeah, Rose.
Yeah, Rose. I want to know how she don't know. She's in the circle. She's out there with the shadows.
You just gotta wait. You just gotta wait, because I promise you, it all ties in.
Because all the shadows know, and then she hears Sid's in trouble, and she's like, and they're all like,
I think it's also because she's new.
Nothing.
I think it's also because she's technically, when she joins Shadow Garden, she's the newest member. So maybe you have to work your way up to getting to knowing the knowledge. But at certain points, I'm like, you just gotta know. Like, look at what you've been through, and you weren't part of the fucking Shadow Garden yet. So his harem, Sid's harem is so crazy that, and I'm like, he's not gonna get with any of them. I don't think so. He's not gonna get with any of them.
No, he ain't.
The Seven Shadows, they're all potential members.
I think he's gonna be like a Gojo or like a Kakashi, where he's just forever single.
Which is crazy, because I'll say this right now. If Alpha gets her way, she's gonna have him, right?
Oh, that's done.
Yeah, Alpha's done. Like Alpha, like she's already kind of, she's letting all the other seven shadows kind of do their thing. But Gamma's like, I'm all right. Gamma is my favorite shadow out of all of them. But she also like, all right, I'm not winning. I'm all right. I'm a fucking the richest person on the planet, basically.
Yep.
I'm chilling. I got this. Epsilon, eventually, like, the truth's gonna come out about how she saves her body, and that's it. Beta, I'm worried about. She might go full yandere if she don't get Sid.
Yeah,
that's who I'm worried about.
We got Delta out here. Scene one of season 2, just ass out, just running, and I'm like, yo, this is how you're gonna start season 2.
Alyssa, I love, the more and more I see of Delta, I get why you love her. I love Delta.
Delta and
I
Alpha
was so disappointed that there wasn't more of her.
Delta and Alpha are tied for my favorite.
Just wait till Zeta officially enters the picture.
If you look at the title of episode 4, episode 4, I think, is all about Delta.
Good, because she needs more love. She needs more love.
I guess I gotta catch up now.
MF Ghost, been incredible so far. Absolutely incredible. I watched today. I watched the first episode of A Returner's Magic Should Be Special.
That's a manhwa, right?
Yes,
that's from a manhwa. Okay,
and it was not what I expected. It was not what I expected, but in a great way. In a great way. I'm very interested in seeing the direction that this show takes now, because based on the name, I thought that it was going to be like kind of a knockoff isekai sort of situation. And it's actually a lot closer to the plot line of Ragna Crimson than it is like, a lot of these other isekais that are out there. Demon Swordmaster of Excalibur Academy is going good. The daughter that left the nest and came back in S-Rank Adventure.
Oh, yes, that's one. So
I'm actually really liking that show.
The best part about this year is that all the manga that I've been reading, like, it feels like I'm finally like ahead, right? Since I started so late. All the manga that I've been reading, they're finally getting anime adaptation. So the S-Ranker, my daughter who left and became the fucking title of the damn show. It's so fucking long. Freenan, the Journey Beyond Journey's End. What's the other one? That I need to see? I'm in Love with the Villainous. With the Villainous is another one. There's
Undead Unlock. Undead Unlock.
Undead Unlock maybe. I'm
it's
sneaky
good.
Like, this might be the winner, low key. I'm watching it with a hawk, like.
I haven't started it yet, but it's on my list.
It's so good.
What is it?
Berserk of Gluttony. Berserk of Gluttony is another one.
Great.
Yes.
Because I like my romances, right? The experienced you and the inexperienced me. I'm getting some My Dress Up Darling vibes from it. And My Dress Up Darling is my like number one like romance show. Like Marin is my hard pick to win the waifu wars. Like I I really hope that she pulls through.
I definitely understand why. Mind you, I also enjoyed my Dress Up Darling. It's just like my Sakurajima is so tough on my ranking. She's so tough. There was a point where Chizuru
Yep.
Mizuhara had a chance
Yep.
to knock her off. But mind you, this is not a problem with the anime Chizuru. This is a problem with the manga Chizuru, right? And
Yep.
how, which is why the craziest part is after Rent a Girlfriend season 3, each season, right at the end of the show, the new season got another season, but this season they didn't. Season 4 has not been even renewed yet, and it ended months ago because they're heading now. They have to cover the part where the manga completely falls off. Now, the Paradise arc, I did a video on it on my channel, which is ironically called the Paradise arc. If they're smart, they do it in a movie. You just knock it all out in a movie. You knock it all out that way, and you don't, because the movie will take care of all the extra padding that I mentioned in that video. They do it in a movie, and then you find a way to do it afterwards. Because after the Paradise arc, Chizuru falls. Her character like really tumbles, in my opinion. Like she's not a good character right now. That's just how I feel about her. And I feel like the author is not finally understand that because Rent a Girlfriend is also very popular in Japan, but for the first time in the sales are starting to go down.
Oh.
And he's like, now I'm worried that he's really pushing the story forward, but I'm like, it might be too late. Like Kazuya is the laughing stock of the manga Reddit community. They make fun of Rent a Girlfriend and Kazuya all the time. When before they were for what the kids say, they were glazing him because of how good he was, especially during the movie arc, which was just covered in season 3.
Yep.
He was fantastic, and then what happens to him after that, especially as a result of the Paradise arc, is damn near criminal. And if I ever see the author on the street, I might swing on him. I'm not gonna lie. He ruined his character. He's like, you know how Marvel characters just like to make Spider-Man's life a living hell for some reason.
Yep.
That's what he did with Kazuya. That's exactly what he did with Kazuya.
I don't like that.
I don't like that at all. So,
guys, I am gonna have to go be a mom.
Oh no!
But
real quick,
thanks for having me on.
Do you have a split second? Because I have the top 32. That's going to be the waifu wars people
for tomorrow, right?
Yeah, for tomorrow.
I'm gonna have to watch it later because I'm working, but I'm definitely there. Yeah.
I'll go through it real quick.
If you want to share your screen, I can pop it up real quick.
It'll be all right. So I got Melise from 86.
Great pick.
I got Kagome from Inuyasha. I got Toka from Tokyo Ghoul. I got Esdeath from Akame ga Kill. Mikasa from Attack on Titan.
I think she's kind of overrated in my opinion, but we don't need to. Yeah, that's just me. I think she's kind of overrated, but I get why people like her.
Yeah, we got Mikasa from Attack on Titan. Grim Zenta's hard pick to win is Asuna from Sword Art Online.
Oh, what? She's not even the best waifu in the show. It's Shion. Shion's the better one.
Well, hold on now. His second pick is 02 from Darling in the Franxx.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yo.
What are we doing?
We also got Roxy from Jobless Reincarnation. And we got Ghislaine from Jobless Reincarnation. So
Roxy's my goat, but Ghislaine's not a bad choice.
Oh, so Sylphie didn't make the list.
How did Sylphie not make the list?
Well, hold on.
How did Sylphie not make the list?
Hold on now. I'm gonna explain something because a lot of people didn't make the list, and it's strictly because of this. A lot of the people that are watching my show right now are anime onlys, and so, for instance, Eris, we haven't seen Eris grown yet. So if I put Eris in the waifu wars, she's going to be a kid to most people, right?
Okay,
so like that sort of thing, right? So we knew Roxy when she was older and Ghislaine as she was older. So I'm playing it safe, right? I also didn't put Nezuko in there for the same reason. Like, yeah, when she turns into a demon, yeah, she gets big tits and stuff, but she's actually still a child. So like,
we don't mess with
we ain't doing that. I got Winry from Full Metal Alchemist, as well as Envy from Full Metal Alchemist.
Okay.
And I got Risa Hawkeye from Full Metal Alchemist.
Full Metal Alchemist. I feel biased. It gets 3 waifus. All right, bro.
Yep. Raftalia from Shield Hero. Albedo from Overlord.
Real quick question. So when Raftalia levels up, right, and she grows into her adult body, isn't she still not the same age?
Yeah. We toe in a fine line there too. I admit it. That's
where I'm at. She's still 4 or whatever. She's still a toddler.
Yeah.
Like, she's just grown. She's still a toddler though in age, so that's why I'm different about it.
We're towing a line on that one. Yeah. We got Albedo from Overlord. We got Shion from Slime. I had to throw somebody from Slime in there. We got Misa from Death Note. Marin from My Dress Up Darling. We got Rim from ReZero. We got Your Forger from Spy
That's the
Family.
right person to pick.
Oh, Your Forger too. Oh, okay.
We got Eyes Wallenstein from Don Machi. We got
I don't know if she would be the one I would pick though.
We got from Bleach, we got a 4-piece.
Okay.
We got Yoriichi. We got Rangiku. We got Orihime. And then to throw a little spice in there, we got Tyr Harabel de Arankar.
Okay. Are these in seeds or you just kind of did you put them in like seeds? Like
no, they're not in seeds yet. I'll have them in seeds by tomorrow. Right now I have them separated by show.
Oh, okay.
So we got Hori from Horimiya.
Oh, great pick. Oh,
we got Makima from Chainsaw Man, and we have Power from Chainsaw Man. The
Power. Power might be the dark horse. I'm not gonna lie.
Yep. We got Kaoru from Rurouni Kenshin, as well as Megami from Rurouni Kenshin. We got Yuzuriya from Hell's Paradise, the shinobi girl. As well as Sagari, the girl from Hell's Paradise. Right? Yep. And then number 32 to round things out, we have Mako Shiraki from Prison School.
Which one was that one?
She's a teacher that's like very busty, and it looks like she probably like has like a dominatrix thing going about her.
Oh, okay.
I've never seen the show, but I looked up a picture of her and I was like, yo.
I've seen the show. The show is one of those that's like, I can't accurately describe it. You just have to watch it. Yeah. But it's never going to
I don't know that I love the storyline or anything, but like the artwork is fun to watch.
Yeah.
It's very bright.
I had to pull out everybody from Food Wars, which hurt my chest because I feel like Erina Nakari should have been in there. I had to pull out everybody from High School DxD.
That is tough. I'm not gonna lie. I'm surprised not one of them made it.
Well, like I said, the age thing, right? I was like, yo, like
I get it. It's just tough. I'm surprised you didn't like. You know what? I just got to throw one in there, but I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you, Mazer.
Yeah. So, well, I had a list of like 63, and I had to narrow it down to 32. And honestly, that's what it started coming down to. Is I was just like, yo, how old are you in the show right now? and if it's even a little suspect, I'm like, you got to go. I'm sorry.
I got you.
But that's the 32. So I'll have those seated and ready for the episode tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll see if I can tune in.
I hope that Rim or Your win.
Yo, that's up to you.
Power. I want to if they get to the point where it's Power versus Your. You want to talk about? Oh my God.
Well, here's the thing.
Power's my dark horse to win it.
Well, my brackets, they're 100% viewer vote. So if you want somebody to win, the only thing you can do is vote for them. That's
Power is a strong Power. Power is like, what's Power? Power's like that 7th seed that just somehow makes it to the championship.
Yeah,
she's great. And you like, the more and more you think about it, like, man, this team's good. Power's very good. And all of a sudden she's just in the championship game fighting against, I don't know who the number 1 seed would be. And you're like, they have a chance. Power has a chance to win this. That's how good Power is. Get Asuna out of there. She might get upset.
Oh God, I hate it.
I can already see tomorrow's episode when Asuna's name rolls up and Grim just taking over the show and being like, all right, everybody. So here's what you need to do.
He chose the wrong one from the show.
Yo,
Jesus Christ.
SAO is his favorite show, and Kirito and Asuna is like his favorite romance. And I'm like, I don't get it, but you know what?
Lloyd and Yor have a better romance. Lloyd and Yor have a better romance.
Lloyd and Yor are phenomenal. I don't care what nobody says. That was the first manga I ever read before the show dropped. And I've been loving the show so far. They're doing it justice, and I'm real happy with it.
Well, Alyssa, thank you so much for hopping on.
I gotta go too.
I do have one more thing to say that I forgot about. One thing I do hope to see in the next part of Jobless Reincarnation, I hope that Rudy and Sophie get married and Eris shows up and gets fucking heartbroken. I just want to see her get her heart ripped out of her chest because Rudy moved on.
Yeah,
that's it. I gotta go. Bye, guys.
All right. All right,
Yeah.
so Mazer, I'm gonna leave you with a question.
Yep.
Also, Alyssa, let me see if I can get this off. But Mazer, this is a question, and I want to sit down and probably talk with you a little bit later. Maybe we'll just have like a 30-minute conversation about it. The question I
Yep.
want to leave you with: will solo leveling live up to the hype? That's the question I'm gonna leave you with. And
So,
also, viewers, when you
uh,
listen to this, a question for you guys: will solo leveling live up to the hype? And when
so
I'm
my
go ahead.
concern is not solo leveling. My concern is the studio.
Mm.
So let's look at Tower of God. Let's look at God of High School. Let's look at some of these other manhwas that have been adapted.
Noblesse
That,
oblige was
yeah,
bad.
yeah, like the stories are incredible. That's why they're getting anime adaptations.
Mm-hmm.
But because they're manhwas, these studios are not putting the same love into them that they would put into like a traditional Japanese manga
Mm-hmm.
because they're not traditional Japanese mangas. And it's killing these shows. And so I'm like, yo, don't do solo leveling like this. Like, give it the love it deserves.
I think solo leveling might be the one if they mess it up where they people will riot. It's so good. If there's
Yeah.
a reason why people put it up there is maybe the greatest manhwa to ever be written or
Mm-hmm.
drawn. So, mind you, I think Legend of the Northern Blade is better than solo leveling, but solo leveling's done. We have no idea how Legend of Northern Blade is going to finish, but that's the question I'm going to leave you with, and maybe we'll have a conversation once it gets closer because right now it looks like they're doing all the right things. They're taking their time with it. So far, the visuals have looked really good.
Oh, it looks beautiful.
But I'm like, I think Alyssa mentioned it one time we were talking just off thing, and I'm like, how the hell are they going to do the fight scenes? These aren't like these aren't like your daddy's fight scenes when you were younger. These are fantastically drawn. How the hell are they going to do? I'm expecting season 2 Demon Slayer levels of fight scenes from solo leveling, but like constantly, not just
Yo,
at the end.
yo, you want to talk about Demon Slayer? All right. There's some stuff coming up. I don't know if you've read the Demon Slayer manga, but there's some stuff coming up
Mm-hmm.
that they had better give its due justice.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know what your budget is. If you have to go borrow money from your mom, like, do what you got to do. But like Zenitsu has a moment coming up where he's going to get his moment in the sun,
Mm-hmm.
and they had better do it proper.
Tell the people from Fate that they have to wait another year because we're taking a whole year's budget to do this.
I'm
Right?
down with that. That's fine. Yo, Fate, y'all gonna have to take a seat.
Nobody knows what the hell's going on with Fate anyway in the storyline. So
Yep.
y'all can wait another year.
Like Zenitsu, like, because he's one of my favorite characters. When he finally starts fighting, not asleep, my man's awake. Like, he's very aware of what's going on around him. Like, come on, like, give my man his props.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm hoping so. But we got the Hashira training arc coming up next, and that's where we're going to see a lot of growth from all three of them.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, and obviously the implication at the end of season 2, or season 3, sorry, when Nezuko survives the sun, and how they showed Muzan reacting to it was like, I
Oh,
like that.
no.
I
Like,
like
well,
that.
here's the thing. This ain't really a spoiler, but Muzan now doesn't give a fuck about nothing else.
Mm-hmm.
Like, all he cares about now is Nezuko. Like, she just put the biggest target on her, and so all of the upper demons, all of the like upper moons, lower moon, everyone is coming for her. Like, they ain't worried about nothing else because that's all Muzan wants is he wants to be able to live in the sun too because even he can't.
Mm-hmm.
Like, everyone's coming for her. Like, it's gonna get real Game of Thrones. Like, not everybody's gonna make it out.
Mm-hmm. All right, there we go. Thank you so much, Mazer and
Hey, thank you for
Alyssa.
having me.
No problem. I'm sorry it took me so long to get you guys on here. Like, I've been busy, and for people who will find out what's going on in my life at the end of the Bakugo video, which I promise is coming soon. I'm trying to get it done within the week, but if not, it'll definitely be available next week when this video comes out. Once again, go check out Mazer on Twitch. The man's doing great work. I've been so busy that I haven't been able to keep up with his content, but I got a few days off here coming up pretty soon. I'm about to binge all your content.
Please do it, and any feedback you got, please let me know because I'm always trying to grow. I'm always trying to improve. I got a new setup in here now,
so I like it too. I like it.
Like every little bit, right? I'm trying to improve so that the content that's going out is better, and that's something I appreciate about your content is you put out quality content, and I'm a big advocate for it. I'm always talking to people, and I'm like, yo, if you ain't watching this, You need to go on YouTube. Random Guy Speaks. You need to pull this up.
W plug. That's what I like to hear. But yeah, check out Mazer Ultor on Twitch. Do you have any other socials that people can find you by?
So Mazer Ultor Gaming, which is funny because I really don't do any gaming as far as streaming goes, but Mazer Ultor Gaming on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram.
Mm-hmm. Ironically, I got Starfield. I played it for like a couple of days, and I started playing Dragon Age again.
Yep. So everybody that I knew that was playing Starfield is kind of already fallen off of it, and I'm just like, yo.
Yeah, Spider-Man 2.
Yep.
Looks great. Oh
yeah,
my
we just had some of the voice cast from Spider-Man 2 here for Planet Anime.
Oh no way!
Yeah, we had we had the entire voice cast from Death Note. We had almost everybody from Naruto. We had a bunch of people from like Dragon Ball. Like it went off way harder than it needed to. Like Planet Anime was absolutely insane.
Okay, I also want to go to there's an anime con over here, I think in Anaheim next month, and I want to go to it. I want to go. I just want to see how it is. So,
look at this, bro.
Oh my god!
Got the Demon Slayer Rimuru holographic.
Next year, we thought this year's looking nasty. This year was great when we looked at the slate for this year.
Yep.
Demon Slayer is back next year. Mushoku Tensei. God, if they're going to continue, the fact that we got 2 seasons of Eminence and Shadow in 1 year is amazing.
Yep.
Like, y'all, look, I'm
not saying 2024 is going to be unreal.
Plus, don't even look at the rest of the year. Attack on Titan's finally going to finish.
Well, Attack on Titan, that's like 2 weeks.
Oh my god.
Yeah, November 4th.
Do you want to do a live watch to that?
Dude, yes.
Let's do a live watch to that.
Yes.
Where I'll hop in your Discord and we'll just watch it and then we can live stream it and then be like the whole time. So what I'm gonna do now that you told me it's 2 weeks away, I'm gonna just watch all of Attack on Titan again. I'm gonna watch it all again, so I walk in fully fresh. Is ReZero also ReZero's back next year, by the way?
Yep.
But let's watch all that, and then when the final part drops, I know I made jokes like part 27 of the final season, but the final part drops and we'll watch it. We can talk about it after. Hell, this might be a 2-3 hour stream because I'm like, I can't believe it.
And I'm with it. Like that's totally fine by me.
Yeah, call Grim. I'll even call some of my friends, and then I'll let you know off stream what I've been working on in the background because I definitely want to have you be a part of that. But thank you so much, Mazer, for doing this.
Please, holler at me. Anything I can do, bro. Like you've been supportive, and I just want to repay it tenfold.
Yeah. Oh, hey, and I'm always down to talk more Mushoku Tensei because, God, I wanted to this is what happens. This is what happens with this character. This is what happens with that character.
So good. Yeah, I know who he ends up with his waifus. Mm-hmm. I know who he ultimately ends up with after dying. Mm-hmm. Like I said, like that got spoiled for me. But the rest of it's still in the air, and I'm like, that's fine.
Because mind you, you know who he ends up with after dying is just a matter of circumstance. That's all.
Yeah. Well, she's the only one that's not long lived. Mm-hmm. The other two live longer, like that, and that makes sense. But I'm like, yo, you didn't deserve this.
Absolutely, right? Thank you. You didn't deserve it.
You got this because you were option 1 of 1. Like you weren't option 1 of 3.
If the author, I think the thing is, if the author truly wanted, he'd be like, okay, he meets this one first, and then like an amount of time, then the other 2 pull up later, and now it's all 3 of them, all 4 of them, but. The author wrote it what it is, and either way, like I even told you, actually, no, let's end the stream. Let's end the stream, and I'll tell you this afterwards. Thank you guys for watching. Shout out to Mazer, shout out to Alyssa. Bakugo video coming soon. It's about to be an hour long. We're already starting the anime year in review videos. There's a lot of contenders. I might even throw Mazer. I'm like, hey, if you want to jump into this, because what I'm gonna do this time, instead of making it one kind of big video, I'm gonna do it in chunks. So like. Yep. The big hitters is going to be one video. The newcomers is going to be one video. And I'm thinking I might get as many people as I can to kind of just talk about it. And I know it might be harder to do, or I might just do it like a podcast format where I sit down with you, Alyssa, Jalen, a few people on my side, and we just talk about the big hitters. And maybe we do it that way. And I make it kind of like a podcast, like limited series. You know what I mean?
That'd be great.
Yeah,
I think that's actually a really smart idea because there is so much.
There's so many, and I know, and I don't do them justice by just kind of mentioning them in like the little intro that I do.
Yep.
Before we go into the ones that we chose, so yeah, we got plans, man. We got plans. So, thank you guys for watching. We will see you guys soon. More content on the way. Go check out Mazer's Twitch channel. The man's doing great work. Waifu Wars. You heard the whole bracket. Power is my fuck it. Power's my pick. Power's my pick to win it all. But I would not be mad if Yor wins it all. Asuna better get upset in the first round. Thank you guys for watching. Bye, guys.
Bye.